future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
She's reckless, daring, bold, brassy, fearless, and you know she's audacious. Here she is in all her sordid glory, the Ann Walker Show.
Hey, we got a call. Hey.
You think it's our first guest?
I don't know.
All right,
Hi,
415.
caller. Hi, caller. Who's calling and what's your name?
I'm Patricia Cori, and
Oh,
I'm
good.
your guest.
Oh, yes. Hi, Patricia Cori. I am so glad to have you. This is Ann Walker, and my co-host.
Hello, Patricia.
That's John Williams. Hi. And Patricia, I haven't told everybody who you are yet. That you would be calling in.
Okay, great, because I wasn't sure. I thought I was supposed to be on at 6:30, and then I reread my notes, and I thought, oh my gosh, I hope I didn't miss my time.
No, I have 6:20.
So it's
okay,
fine.
perfect.
Now that's good, though. Let me just tell everybody who you are, so we can talk about your wonderful book. Okay, you are an author, teacher, lecturer, and spiritual guide to sacred sites and ancient worlds. You are a renowned leader in the spirit movement. Now, you've written a new book. You're from San Francisco Bay Area, right?
I am indeed, and
Yeah.
I'm back here after many, many years.
And you are in San Francisco now. That's where you live?
I live in Rome, and I'm back in San Francisco because I'm doing a tour of the United States.
For your new book.
For The Emissary.
Uh-huh. Well, I have to tell you, I started reading the book a couple of days ago, and it's a magnificent story. I really enjoyed it. Tell everybody.
I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you. Tell everybody what the book is about.
This is a story. First of all, this is my first novel. I like to clarify that because I'm known for nonfiction material, but I felt that using fiction, I would have more freedom of expression. So, and also be able to reach more people with the information that I want to bring through. This is a story about Earth in turmoil, and it starts with three relatively catastrophic events of concern.
I know.
In Los Angeles?
Yeah.
You've read that first part?
Yeah, I did. I skimmed through the whole book, but I started reading it. Now I'm rereading it leisurely because I wanted to be able to get a sense of the book. I see Sandra Bullock playing the woman, Jamie. What do you think?
You're not the first person to suggest that.
That was who I was picturing in the book as I was reading it, because the book has now the rights have been bought to make a movie of this. Correct?
Yes, in fact, I wrote the screenplay first.
You did?
Which is a little bizarre.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I did. I woke up one morning and said, it's time to write a screenplay, and so I ventured out unknown territory and wrote the screenplay for The Emissary, and then my publisher asked to read it and loved it so much, she said, give us the novel. So I think I'm one of those rare writers that adapted a screenplay to novel instead of the other way around.
That is terrific. And you write so wonderfully. The character is very fleshed out. We know, and we get into the book, which is always my favorite thing when I read a book, is that you take me on that journey, and I really do start casting those people, in my mind. And anyway, I look forward to reading the rest of it. But tell everybody what the catastrophic events were in the beginning.
Right. Three things occur simultaneously on the planet. In Los Angeles, a man is driving home from work at night, and he stops to chat in the road to a neighbor. And as they're chatting, 600 blackbirds drop dead simultaneously. Boom. All around him. Mm-hmm. And they're not dying, they're dead on arrival, and that is very alarming. And then we are catapulted to another vignette, which is on the East Coast in Maine. A woman steps out of her backyard on the coast, and she sees, as far as the eye can see, all the way down the coast, dead fish, hundreds, tens of thousands of dead fish on the beach. And again, simultaneously on the other side of the planet, in a resort town in New Zealand, on a resort beach, 150 whales and dolphins lie, mostly dead, and some are still dying, in a beaching scene that has occurred there.
And Jamie is part of that scene, right?
Jamie Hastings, the protagonist, is in New Zealand, escaping her life because she's a renowned psychic and she works with the Los Angeles Police Department and other sort of grueling uses of her skill. And she has escaped and gone to New Zealand to rest and get distance from it. And doesn't she find herself in the middle of this horrific disaster?
Yeah, and then the story begins. And you've written 10 other books, and this is the 11th? Or 11?
Actually, this is the 13th because I co-authored 2 other books with other relatively famous authors. So this is my 13th book.
And so just to let everybody know, you can find Patricia. Your books are on Amazon.com?
They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Great bookstores everywhere, and many different channels, Barnes and Noble, Amazon.
Oh, great.
And even from my site,
and they can find you. Your last name is spelled Cori. I think we have your name and everything on the screen there so people can check it out. So are you a psychic? You seem to, have that ability yourself, right?
Yes, I am. I don't pretend to be the exalted psychic of my protagonist because this is a fictional character.
Yeah.
But part of me, I think, is there. And yes, I am a psychic and have been doing that kind of work all of my life.
And at what age were you when you realized that you had this gift?
When I was 4 years old, my mother told me, because I don't remember that far back, that I walked into the kitchen from the garden where I spent a lot of time because we lived in the mountains, and so I had a lot of nature around me. And she said, I walked in one day and I looked up at her, this little 4-year-old child, and said, I know you don't understand this yet, but I'm from another galaxy.
Is that right? Wow.
Now, back in those days, that was in the 50s. That was not jargon that little children were accessing.
No, right. And what did she do with that information?
It goes back that far.
And so how did you, as you were growing up and becoming pubescent and then adulthood, did you have more revelations about your gift? I assume you did.
Yes, I've enjoyed it most of my life because my mother encouraged it in me rather than most parents who tell their children not to see, they don't see it, and to stop daydreaming.
Right.
And I've had peak moments all through my life where there have been stronger exhibitions of these psychic adventures, let's say, but it's been a steady upward path, I have to say.
Well, that's
and
great.
I really enjoy what it brings into my life.
That's terrific. So, and it sort of goes hand in hand with the other books that you've written. Let's see, one in particular, Beyond the Matrix. Apparently that was one of your all-time best-selling books. Or before we leave you, Messages from the Great Whales and the Dolphin Beings, which was, I guess, released last year?
Yes, that was my Before the Emissary. And Beyond the Matrix was a collection of interviews I had done with some of the most intelligent people on this planet about alternative possibilities. And they were the result of interviews that I had done on my radio show by the same title, Beyond the Matrix. And yes, it was a very, very popular, it is a very, very popular book.
And then you have a radio show on www.bbsradio.com. That's sort of like us, ubnradio.com.
I'm on hiatus at the moment because I'm so busy promoting and sharing information about the emissary and traveling around the world and working for the dolphins and whales.
Yes, I noticed. I noticed that you are the founder of of Save the Oceans.
Save Earth Oceans.
Save Earth Oceans, right. And I want to talk to you. I just was reading that they're going to be, I signed a petition just yesterday, excuse me, to stop seismic testing off the New Jersey coast this June. All marine life, it says, at risk. Have you read about that?
Yes, this is one of the things that concerns me most as president of save Earth's oceans. I'm very concerned about the Navy programs they're installing 5-year programs. Not installing, that's not the right word. They're initiating 5-year programs that will involve bombs, seismic blasts, sonar, laser weapons, chemicals, everything you can imagine into the oceans.
Don't they realize that once the ocean dies, we all die?
Well, that seems to be the question of the hour. Why do the people that abuse this planet not realize that they are also residents of the planet and it will affect them as well?
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for that question.
And
it's one that will torment me the rest of my life.
I think so. I think everybody. Now, Rutgers University, from what I gather from this article, they're the ones that are doing some kind of study, and I couldn't quite find out what the study was and what they're looking to get from the information, But this seismic blasting is supposed to go on every 5 minutes, or actually. The magnitude is louder than a jet engine taking off. And they're going to be blasting it every 5 seconds, 24 hours a day for 30 days. And
that will kill an appropriate number of whales and dolphins.
Yeah, and sea turtles, fish, and shellfish. And then, I'm hoping
it's
that
very frustrating. In fact,
this
is one of the themes of The Emissary. Whales and dolphins talk to Jamie, and they tell her about the great drums, the killing drums.
Yes,
and
I did
direct
read about
relation
that.
to these blasts. That once you destroy the musical harmonics of the ocean, all of the animal life will die. And the Navy is talking about taking out, they call it taking, in quotes, 13 million marine mammals in the next 5 years.
Where are they going to put them?
13 million.
But where are they putting them? They're going to take them out and then
take them out, meaning
killing,
maiming, torturing. Yeah.
Well, how can we
That's
stop
what they
that?
say. It's collateral damage, anticipated collateral damage, because they must do these tests to protect us against terrorists.
This is for protection against terrorists?
Well, I'm being a little bit facetious,
okay.
but that's what they're doing. They're calling it war testing, and I would imagine that since the excuse for all wars to protect us against terrorists, I would assume that just follows suit. But that's the excuse. They have to test. Test what? Test weapons. Test weapons for what? War.
Okay, we have a chat room that's going on as we're talking. And they ask questions in the chat room. So we're going to take a question.
Okay.
John's going to read
Patricia, I have a question from Sheila, more or less a comment, actually, and probably wanting insight on the comment. She's saying that she is a dolphin being in some shape and form. She has an unnatural affinity for them, and that she seriously contemplated doing language studies with dolphins at the University of Hawaii. They have a language that we have yet to understand. Could you talk a little bit more about that, or people being from different realms, if you want to?
Yes, I'm very excited about that, and congratulations to her for recognizing that affinity. I didn't know about the program in Hawaii, but more and more people are marine biologists, neurolinguists, qualified scientific people are coming around to understanding that perhaps the whales and dolphins are, in fact, at least as intelligent, if not more, than we are, highly evolved beings, and they hold the information, the wisdom, the history of life on this planet. They are millions of years old. And surely, as guardians of the oceans, they have a lot to tell us about 80% of the planet that we don't understand. So I believe that this is a time that we're going to break through and open communication with the whales and dolphins, and I celebrate her for doing that and following that, her heart, and hopefully she will bring back wisdom to share with the human race.
Well, the other thing is how do we do something about this, especially what's getting ready to happen off New Jersey's coast? Signing a petition. They were only looking for 3,000 signatures. I think it's change.org that I signed it on. But I don't know that signatures are enough. We need to.
And I've seen images of dolphin killing sprees going on in different countries and things like that, and I just don't understand why this is happening. It's just, I mean, I know with social media and stuff we're seeing more than we would normally see, but it's just it's shocking to me. These dolphins are not harming anybody. They're promoting peace more than anything.
Yeah.
So I don't, you know.
Well, there seems to be there's an aspect of humanity, of the dark side of humanity, that enjoys destroying innocence, and so we see children being abused, animals being abused, and the fiendish delight in harming innocent beings is something that I don't think anyone who is even remotely in heart-centered consciousness can comprehend, and it's very demoralizing, and it takes away our power to help. And all I can say to that is, poor people who will be facing that karma in another lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's right.
meanwhile, we've got to stay strong, and we have to do everything possible to assure that these beings are protected.
And what are the beings
that's
saying to you? You communicate with them? Is that correct?
Yes, I am a dolphin. Well, I've been called a whale whisperer.
Okay.
I don't like these titles because they can tend to be a little bit trite in some ways.
So,
but I do receive messages, and the book Before We Leave You, the one that preceded The Emissary, is a messages for the human race from them directly. I really would love for people that are listening to this program and are interested in what the whales and dolphins are trying to share with us to read that book.
That is terrific. Now, where were you when you were being involved in that?
I started hearing messages from the whales and dolphins when I was teaching a workshop in Jordan, and in the middle of the workshop I was interrupted by these please help us. I suddenly, and I was in the middle of teaching. It was very awkward, really. And I heard them crying out. It was the first time. And I had to actually stop the class because I couldn't cope with that. I didn't understand what was happening. And at the end of the break, I went back in, finished the workshop, and went back to my hotel very disgruntled. And I turned on the news and found out that at that precise moment, 150 whales had beached in New Zealand. Of course, you're going to see the similarity there. With
yes, I do. Yeah.
And this was the beginning of an odyssey, where every 2 or 3 months I would have these very traumatic moments of hearing the whales and dolphins crying and asking me to help them. And after about 6 months, I started to actually receive daily communications, which were their messages regarding the sonar, regarding the abuse, regarding the killing, and how they perceived us, an appeal to us to help them. And then as the book progresses, it goes into a very higher state where they talk about their galactic nature, the whales and dolphins on many dimensions, many planets. It's a really compelling story, and it's a book, and it is indeed declared to be channeled information from the whales and dolphins directly.
Wow.
Well, we all have to get that book. We all have to read that one too. But The Emissary, when are you thinking that they will start filming on The Emissary? Has it gotten that far?
Well, we're close. I'm going to Los Angeles in a few days, and I'll be meeting with the producers. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, they have good news, because, it's a complicated process to get a book to film.
Yes,
but
it is.
everybody's excited about it, and there's a lot of enthusiasm. So fingers crossed, we're looking at going into production later this year.
I'm so excited.
That's cool.
I am just so thrilled.
Yeah.
George Clooney. I can see George Clooney as Matt. What do you think?
George Clooney as Matt. Well, that would keep me on the set.
Yeah. And maybe as your new friend, I could join you.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Oh, that would be just wonderful.
It will be.
Harrison Ford. Who's my other big idol that I adore? Oh, Hugh Jackman.
Well, now who could Harrison Ford play?
Yeah. Well, I haven't gotten that far into it, but like one of the, I don't know, the captain of that ship that she's getting ready to go out on. That's about where I am.
I'll tell you what. And when you've read the book, we'll get back in touch, and you can give me some casting.
I
hints
will.
that I'll check with my producer.
I will. I've been an actor. Actually, I've been an actress my whole life, and
Have you?
yeah. And we went into the internet radio business. I went in with a business partner, Tony Sweet, about 18 months ago, and because I'd been a radio host on his previous network, and I just love being a radio host. And anyway, but this is all just part of my life, and I know I'm a good casting person. I mean, because I was casting this thing as I was reading it.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I'm sure you'll have a fabulous casting director, somebody fabulous, and she'll know all the same people. Yeah, you will. You will. Now, have you ever had...
We're talking about Sandra Bullock, so you're definitely on track.
Well, yeah, because Sandra Bullock, I adore her, and everybody loves Sandra Bullock.
Great.
And this would be...
She's wonderful.
And this would be a really great story for her. I think she will respond to this. I think actors, big stars like that, I think they take projects, when they become at that level, I think they take projects that really appeal to them. And I think it's something that she would be, well, if you need me to tell her that, you just let me know.
And there seems to be more of an awareness going on. People, especially with the movie, what was it, Blackfish? Was that what?
Blackfish, yeah.
Exactly.
So this is great timing.
It is great timing, and thank you for bringing up Blackfish, because that film is doing such a good job.
Yes, it
of
is.
letting people understand that we need to close the SeaWorld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize it. I thought these whales and dolphins and everybody were in these wonderful places. And when I saw that, I was just sorry that I'd ever
seen it,
yeah. And taken my kids there.
A wonderful place for a whale is not in a cage, in a cement tank. Whales and dolphins need to be free in the ocean. They're prisoners for human entertainment. And we need to become aware of what we're doing. We're just not aware. We're desensitized to what it all means.
Yeah.
But I think that these kinds of films are really waking people up, and hopefully the Emissary will have the same kind of impact.
Well, this show is about LGBT issues and politics. I am an ally to the LGBT community, and I'm a rabid Democrat, and I think that the social issues, anybody who votes for the other people, that they're not socially conscious. And I hate this. This is not a good segue, I guarantee you, but I want to talk to you. It says here in your bio that for more than 15 years, you've guided fellow spirit travelers through sacred sites in Asia, Mexico, Egypt, Europe, England, and Peru through your Soul Quest Journeys program. Tell us about Soul Quest Journeys. Are you still doing that, or plan on continuing?
I am. I've had a little bit of a slowdown on that because I've been so busy.
Yeah.
Because Savers Oceans this year, I put on a concert called Singing the Oceans Alive, which was a tribute to the whales and dolphin music.
When
And
did
it
you
took
do
up
that?
so
Where
much
was
of my
that?
time.
Where was that? Where'd you do it?
It was in London, and it was April 25th. I just finished it,
Oh.
and then a week later, I got on a plane to spend 1 month in the United States promoting the Emissary. So it's been kind of, I've been, as much as I do in a year, I've been pretty much unable to do any of the journeys, but there will be more. I take people to unusual and sacred worlds to explore ancient civilizations, the mysteries of the planet, and of late I've been taking people swimming with dolphins in the wild.
Wow.
So I absolutely will be doing that again. And,
So tell me, how do I, because this sounds like something I would really like to do. So where do we have to meet you someplace where you are going to be creating and getting us to tell us about, like, if I were to come with you, where would we go?
Yeah, well, usually the way that the trip works is that I have a meeting point in a given place. For example, the Egyptian trip, everybody flies into Cairo. My team picks everyone up from the airport. I mean, as you're catered to from the minute you arrive, and we go on these journeys together, and everything is accommodated, and then everybody flies back out from the arrival city back to their destinations. It's not like we all leave together from any one place to arrive together, because people come from all over the world to take part in my journeys.
How do they find? How do people find? Do you advertise in? Where do you advertise this?
I advertise everywhere, but the best thing to do, if people are interested in knowing more about what I'm doing and the events that come up, is to sign up for my newsletter, which is, my main website is SyrianRevelations.net.
Spell that,
and there's
darling.
a link to
Spell Syrian. Syrian?
Syrian, I think she said.
Syrian.
S-Y.
S-Y-R-I-A-N?
No, SIRIAN.
Okay.
Revelations, all attached, .net.
Okay.
And there they can sign up for my newsletter, and then they will be on my priority mailing list, so they will always be the first people to know where I am and what I'm up to.
Great. Well, we're posting that in the chat room, so people will write it down and come and join you. I'm just, it's like a whole new world, You stay so in your zone all the time, and then when I started reading about you and reading The Emissary, I thought, wow, this is someplace I need to go. And then all of a sudden yesterday, I get this invitation to sign this petition, and I thought, my God, how incredible that this is so synergistic. It's all happening around me at the same time, and then you're coming on the show.
It must be the right time, I think.
I think so. And just this morning, I was on another show. One of our hosts is a numerologist, and she was talking about my spirituality. And I belong to the Science of Mind Church, which is not Scientology or anything. I don't want anybody to think that, but it's the religious science, all about positive thinking. And it does open you up to more spirituality, and it does, the positive things in life and how our words are things. And it just sort of all gets in there in my head sometimes. And I think how great it is to continue to evolve as a human being. And I have not been as good as I should have been about the whales and our oceans. And I think that might be just a new path for me, which I'm very excited to take.
Wonderful. There are no shoulds. We do what we can, and we are where we are. And if you've had an opening about this, I am thrilled, because it's very, very important, and also because it brings so much joy. As much pain as it is to imagine the suffering that they're going through, they are also joyous, highly illuminated beings, and they are key players in the evolution of planet Earth.
Wow, that is amazing. So you're in San Francisco. You're coming down to L.A. I wish you'd probably be so busy that when you get here, you wouldn't have been able to come into the studio anyway. But if you have a brief moment, I would love to meet you person to person. And Mike Pingle, who is your publicist, and he's a good friend of mine. And I was so happy that he suggested I have you on my show. It's all very interesting how things are supposed to work out, isn't it?
And I really would be honored to meet you. So we'll do everything possible to make that happen.
Yes, I'd love that. So I just don't want to keep you any longer. I know you got things on the burner here, but everybody, The Emissary, you've got to buy it. You've got to read it. It is just fantastic, and I'll be helping her out with the casting. Yeah,
cool.
So I thank you again so much for being with us. Now you have children. You don't have children. You're married. You're not married. What is your status? I always like to find out, because I'm nosy. Patricia? Hello? Did she hang up?
I don't know. No, it's still here, but we don't have a connection.
Oh,
I'm here.
There you are.
Okay.
I was just asking about your personal life. I thought, well, too big a question. like a mind
Yeah,
my
no,
own.
I'm very open about that. I'm with the same wonderful partner. We've been together for 28 years.
Oh,
And
terrific.
sadly, we don't have children, but my children are all over the world. They call me Mama Bear out there.
Oh, good. I'm so happy. This has made me the happiest in a long time to have you on our show. This is a great, great interview. And again, I tell everybody, tell us anything you want to tell us now about what we should do in order to try to help save the oceans.
My message to people is do something. Take an initiative, whether it is
Oh, you went away again.
Yeah. Keep cutting out.
Yeah. You went
Can you hear
away.
me?
No, try it again.
hello.
There you are.
Okay, I was saying, whether it's picking up a piece of garbage on the beach, or renouncing plastic bottled water, or signing petitions, talking to your senator, whatever, donating to your favorite organization, do something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think if everybody
Because
does a little
even
bit.
the smallest gesture
Right.
from a lot of people will move mountains.
Mm-hmm.
So do something. Don't sit idle. And remember that a lot of us out here are your warriors. We're the voice.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't want to raise your voice and be public, then please support us. We're working hard.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us tonight, and I hope everybody does join I will be on there. Ann Walker will be joining that newsletter, and I hope everybody that's listening will join in on that and take a look at The Emissary by Patricia Cori. Thanks, Patricia, so very much for being with us.
Thank you both. I was
Thank
a delight.
you.
Thank
I'm very
you.
grateful.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
I'll see you in LA.
Okay, I look forward to it. Bye-bye.
Alrighty, thank you, Ann.
Uh-huh.